I would sit upstairs in the lobby of this hotel and make you do it 100 times. Why? Because you got to go into unconsciously competent. What is unconsciously? We did it so many times that you're unconsciously good without even thinking. At the end of the meeting, like, oh, okay, hold on. Oh, you got a question? Hey, no problem. Can I show you something? Boom, yeah, and you're already doing it. It's when I walk into living rooms and I see people stutter step, and I see people not doing it, and I see people talking, and I see people, you know what I mean? You're losing them. They haven't, listen, they're there for an hour and 25 minutes at the most. You start 15 minutes late, yes or no? Right or wrong? Hey, get here at 6:30, which really is code for what? Right or wrong? So they're sitting there at 6:30, 6:45. All right, let's get this show going. Yes or no? Now there's already a little anxiety there. Then you get the meeting going. The meeting should be no more than 30 minutes, but we know sometimes people like to pontificate on everything they know, which are losing people by talking too much. But let's say that they do it in 30 minutes. That's 45 minutes gone.
Right.
You're talking almost an hour before I say, listen, are you ready to get started? Well, I got some questions. Now, I've got about 15 minutes. 15 minutes to go through that close 3 times. Once with you, once with somebody else, and once with the third person. And if you're not good at the close, you are now hesitating, and people communicate with feelings and not words. How do I know that? Dogs know when you're afraid. Last time I checked, their English was horrible, yes or no? So how does a dog, right, that's technically, supposedly less intelligent than us, knows when you're afraid? Yet us, right, if we don't know, and we're not sure, and we don't know how to draw the circles, and hey, can I show you something, and let me take that clipboard and flip it over and go through what I just said, you are losing people. And listen, this might be the only shot they have to be successful. Yes or no? Yes. If they don't have the money, I go, listen, fill the form out anyway, I'll hold it till Saturday. And I'm still yelling, spot one's gone. Why? Because somebody on the other side of the room, he's gone. Okay, fill the form out. I don't have my checkbook. Don't worry about it. Fill the form out anyway. Spot one's gone. Now, they're immediately assuming the sale, yes or no. Listen, the day you go buy a car, how many of you ever been to a car dealership and they go, I know, you just test drive, no one buying nothing today, I know, you're not looking, can I see your driver's license? You're buying the car right then. When they're doing that paperwork, they're photocopying that driver's license, we're just taking it for a test drive, we need to get a little information. You're buying, that is called the sale process. Right or wrong?
Yes.
Man, I was just looking at a car yesterday, drove it home. Right or wrong? I haven't started filling out that form. Let's go ahead and fill that out. You don't have 500, don't worry about that. We can get that on Saturday. You'll have that for you. Don't worry about that. Just let's fill it out. Let's hold that first position. This is your cousin's meeting. This is your best friend's meeting. This is your sister's meeting. This is your brother's meeting. This is your, right? So, I mean, who's in their living room? People that they love and trust. I have never been to a home meeting that people were like, I'm freaked out, these people are here. These are people they know. This is people they trust. So now you're walking in with the trust factor already. This isn't about selling their friends, it's about enrolling them and being a part what their friends are already going to take advantage of. So you got to become great. 80% is a C. What does that mean? That means 80% is a C. That means if you are 80% at that close, that means you get a C. You got to be 100%. You got to be, without a doubt, I could wake you up at 2 o'clock in the morning and go, you ready to get started? Literally, like you have to be that good. You have to be that good. This is not to be fooled with. You got to be that good. And I'm telling you, you work with me, I'd make you do it 1,000 times. I'd make you do it so much, you'd be so annoyed by me making you do it so many times that you couldn't wait to show me you knew what you were doing when you got in the living room. You'd be like, uh-huh, yeah, Pat, yeah. You made me do it 100 times, let that video be done. Listen, over and over and over, and Vince Lombardi won literally championship after championship after championship. If you study the greatest coaches that ever lived, let me tell you what they did. Again, 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 again. It's not supposed to be exciting. The fundamentals are never exciting. That's why most people are not successful, is they never mastered the fundamentals. Is there a difference between knowing it and mastering it? It's got to be part of your DNA. You got to be walking into that living room like, I cannot wait to start drawing some circles. And if I see you with me and you're not doing it, literally, I'm killing you with my eyes. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are we doing Friday night? What are you doing? Literally, what are you doing? That, I mean, it's not acceptable. I will not accept that. It is not. Listen, if I'm giving you my time, these are the best years of my life. And if I'm giving someone the best years of my life, we're going into that living room and getting results. I don't care if there's one person in that living room or 100. We are not in here to fool around. My family is too important to me. Your family is too important to you.
Amen.
This is about becoming great. And I'm telling you this, and this might be something you might have heard 10 times before, but I hope this time it just sunk a little deeper. Like, you got to record this stuff, and you got to go in, and you got to be good. I want them to sit there and be like, I can get 3 services. Yeah, I can invite some people to my house. They have, listen, they believe more than the person that brought them to their living room than they believe in themselves. You know why people sign up? Mary got me here. Mary probably could get 6 people to sign up. Man, she got me. I'll sign up because Mary's going to do it. And if she's going to do it and help me out, and someone's going to put people on my team, and got to try something. What do you got to lose? Nothing. So the point that I'm making is that you got to become great. 80% is a C. If I graded you, think about the person that closed you a minute. What would you grade that person? And if you wouldn't grade them 100%, that means that is your buddy. That is your battle buddy. You go to war, that's who you're going to war with. And if that person is not good, you're going to war with someone that's going to get you and them killed. So you got to get great at it. I'm telling you, man, it is a gift, that close. That close, again, why do we get apps every night? Because we can all do it. And if they can't do it, they are a liability. And a liability in a living room means it's going to cost all of us money. We got to all be trained. We got to listen. If you don't got it down, if the person you just worked with don't got it down, it's Friday night. There's nowhere else to be. When you leave here, go upstairs to the lobby and sit in that lobby and close again and close again and close again, because there's 24 people that are going, I believe you guys can help me. Man, I've got my dreams one more time in my hands. One more time I put my dreams in my hand, believing that you guys are different than everything else that I've tried and failed at. Right or wrong? How many of you had to muster our dreams up one more time? I had to muster my dream. Here we go again. One more time. When I got involved in ACN, it was like, man, you're taking the only thing I have in my life, and that's my dreams. And I'm getting them out one more time, believing that you can help me. Does this help everybody?
Yes.
I mean, that's the most valuable thing you're taking from people is their dreams. That is the most valuable thing they possess is their dreams. In the Bible it says, without a vision, they will perish. That means there's a lot of dead people walking our city streets because they do not have a dream anymore. They missed those. Those dreams are gone. They put them away. And now they got them out one more time and said, put my name on the board. Okay, I'll try one more time. I believe you know what you're doing, and we got to get in there like professionals. We got to show up and ready to go to work. And here's what people are going through. They're going through the emotional roller coaster. And guess what? Now that you're in this room, you are no longer allowed to be on an emotional roller coaster because you're a leader. Leaders do not go up and down. Leaders do not show doubt, worry, fear. I don't care what the situation is. I don't care if there's kids in the living room. I don't care if there's disruptive people. You got to walk in there like you've been there 1,000 times before. Hey, let's put those kids away for a second. It's going to be 30 minutes. Hey, listen, could you hold your questions to the end? I know you got lots of questions. I want to honor those questions. Let me get through the presentation. Like, you got to be a professional all the time. Now, here's what your new IBOs are going through. Listen, they got excited one more time. Man, maybe I can do this. And then they start to question themselves. Man, my family doesn't think this is a good idea. Then they come and talk to you, and you're right. You make some more sense than my friends. And they go out and talk to their friends, and, oh, I had to go do some research. And listen, the bottom line is they're going up and down. You've got to be that rock-solid person they're anchoring to. Period. People love leaders. Leaders in history have made everything successful. It was leaders that did it. You got to see yourself as that leader. Listen, you got to be that leader even before you think you're ready to be that leader. There's not one leader in history that said, I'm a leader. They just put themselves in leadership positions and said, All right, I'm here. I'm out in front. I got to go do. People were counting on me. All right, let's go. Now, coaching those IBOs up. This is important. 72-hour call. This 3 days before that meeting. Listen, that training on Saturday, you know what they're getting? 7%. That's all they're getting. You think they heard that script on Saturday? They didn't hear the script. They don't even know there is a script. They're sitting at training on Saturday and it's just social validation. All right, sounds good. I got a good feeling. I got some good people. I feel that you guys are telling me the truth and I'm going to try this thing one more time. And that's all they heard. So don't expect that training to do anything more than just to give a little belief to them. They're going to walk out of that training and that's where the work begins. The work begins with a very simple question. How is the inviting? How's the inviting going? Why do I ask people how the inviting is going? Because 3 days before their meeting, you call them up. That means if you have a Wednesday PBR, you got to call them tomorrow. You got to call them on Sunday. You got to start preparing. Saturday afternoons, Sundays are my biggest preparation days. Why? Because my trainings are on Saturdays. So that means I got to start preparing them for the realities of making those phone calls and getting off the couch and doing something they're uncomfortable to go do. And so when I asked them how's the inviting going, why? Because I know they started inviting. How many of you, when you saw ACN and left the Saturday training, called somebody? Right or wrong? Every single one of us did. Right? We didn't get any practice. We walked out of that train, called our best friend, dude, listen, I found it. I don't know, $500, guy. I'm doing something on Wednesday. Right or wrong? That we all did it. So when I call somebody, how's he inviting you? They're only going to be, it's going good, it's going bad, I haven't started. No problem. Go ahead and invite me. Why do I say that? Because they have to realize they're bad. Why do I let you practice the close? Because you've got to realize you're bad. When did you figure out you were bad? When somebody said, go ahead and close me. You didn't think you were bad up until that point. Up until that point, you were like, I got it. You don't got nothing. Right or wrong? How many of you, think about the person you sat next to, how many of us, when you go, okay, go ahead, your turn. 3, cell phones, TV, right? It's not until you do you realize you're bad. You got to get the bad first. Listen, when they sign up in ACN, they're immediately bad. No one started walking when they were kids. They started bad first. There's not one child that ever said, this is the day. Right or wrong? No, it was stand up, fall down, stand up, fall down, stand up, fall down, stand up, stand up, stand up. Oh, they're standing. That's going to be the same thing with your new IBO. So you got to train them on what to say. Go ahead and invite me. Oh, I don't have the script. No problem, I'll send it to you. No problem, write this down. No problem, you got a pen? Write this down. Why do I say write this down? Because they hear it and then they write it and they own it. If they hear it and they write it, they own it. They got to hear it and then they have to write it. If they do not write it, they do not own it. You got to write it. Listen, why do they make you take notes at school? Because it's statistically proven you retain more if you write it. I write notes on everything. You know why? Because I retain it because my mentor said if you write it, you retain it. So I'm like, here, write this down. Do you look at other ways of making money? Go ahead and write that down. Do you look at other ways of making money? Go ahead and write that down. Say it again. What do you say? Do you look at other ways of making money? Say it again. Do you look at, say it again. 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 Why? Because I know they're going to be nervous when they pick up the phone. But even when they're nervous, the right words will come out if you made them say it 10 times. Do you look at other ways of making money? Do you look at other ways of making money? Do you look at other ways of making money? Do you look at other ways of making money? Now, sure, great. But let me tell you why I'm looking. Man, college tuition frightened me. Because of that, I started looking for some new things. I came across something, new technology, but let me tell you what I found. Edify means to build up. Talk good about. Edification is the weapon that nobody knows outside of this room. Edification, I've watched people get on airplanes and fly across the country because of edification. I've had people literally go on trains because of edification. I've had people get in buses because of edification. And I've had people not walk across the street because of lack of edification. Literally. I invited my neighbor and then you can see the lights are on and the TV, you know, well, that means no edification. Because if he thought Bill Gates was coming to your living room tonight, that TV would be off and he'd be sitting in your living room. You know why he's not coming to your living room? Because you did not edify that person. Edification is the whole thing. Edification is, let me tell you who we got coming. And I don't even know how I did it. And let me tell you a little bit about them. They're a multi-business owner. They're having tons of success. Man, I'll tell you what, I don't even know how I got them in my living room. I feel so blessed that they're willing to come to my house and tell me what they're into. And I'm not calling everybody I know, but I'm calling you. I'd love to put you down for coming. Can I count you in? Can I put you down for coming? You got some questions? Great. Listen, that's why I got the expert coming. I don't know anything about what they know, but here's what I do know. That person's coming to my house, and I want you to meet them. Can I put you down for coming? Edification. But because they don't know edification, you got to teach them the words. Because it's not normal. Before ACN, I didn't know talk good about people. How about you? I'm sure your family tables were a lot like my family tables. Oh, your Aunt Mary. Uncle Bob. Right or wrong? The next door neighbor, they're nutty. Right or wrong? Nobody sat around and said, oh man, the next door neighbor, they should get the Nobel Peace Prize. Man, I'll tell you, it brings a tear to my eye when I think we have the honor of living next door to these individuals that are so amazing. How many of you would agree that's not normal conduct? But if you say that, if you said to somebody, man, my next door neighbor is going to be a saint, my next door neighbor is going to be on a church window one day, my next door neighbor they're going to be talking about in the next 50 years because of what they're doing for humanitarian reasons and everything. Well, who is that person? Who is that person you're telling me about? That's the secret to what we do. But remember, how much are they retaining? 7%. 7%. So what does that mean? They're not kidding that part. You got to say it over and over and over and over and over. Because you get it doesn't mean they get it. You know who does great at this business? Parents. You know who else does great at this? Teachers, coaches. Why? Because they're cool with you not knowing what you're doing. They understand you don't know. I didn't get frustrated with my son. He doesn't use the bathroom. What do you mean you don't use diapers again? I know he doesn't know. I understand that part. Hey, buddy, one day you're not going to be wearing those. Why? Because I'm taking him down that road, yes or no? The same thing with your new IBO. You know what they know about edification? Nothing. Nothing. If you don't give them the words that work, let me tell you the language. Let me tell you what to say. You got a pen, write this down. They're very powerful. They're multi-business owner. They've been recognized for their accomplishments. They're helping people. Man, they got a great personality. Even though they're successful, they're down to earth just like us. Man, I'll tell you, he's the person you want to do business with. Even if you're not interested in what they're doing, just having that business contact's going to help you in your business. Right or wrong? Do you see what I'm doing? I'm telling them how to invite. I'm giving them the words to invite. Now, here's what I found. Is once I get them good at inviting, then it's who to invite. Now, we talk about A players. A players fall into a category of one of three. Number one, business owner. Number two, people that have done multi-level marketing, network marketing, or somebody who makes 100 grand or more a year. Now, you're the most serious people of anybody in ACN in New York. Why? Because you're here. This is leadership. That means if they're not here tonight, they don't see themselves as a leader. How many of you here tonight have owned a business in the past, currently own a business now, have ever done network marketing in your life? Raise your hand real high. Real high. Everybody look around the room. Look around. Look around. What do you see? I see a lot of hands. And you know what I see those hands? They fall into these two categories. And if I'm not telling them who to call, they will call who they think will be interested. And for some reason, everybody calls the same people. The brokest human beings they know. Yes or no? We
Yes.
gave you Microsoft and we said, we're going to let you build your board of directors. We're going to start with my cousin Ron. He hasn't ever worked. He'd be great. He'd be right on the board. He'll be the big decision maker. We would never do those things. But in this business, we do those because we think that we can help them. Right or wrong?
Right.
If you don't direct their thinking on who to call, they're naturally going to call those people. You don't even have to tell them, hey, this is what a D player looks like. Like, they will call them regardless if you tell them not to or you tell them to, yes or no. Yes. That's called low-hanging fruit. They don't even need a script for those people. They'll call them up and be like, listen, the lawnmower you borrowed last week and never brought back, why don't you come on over Wednesday night with the lawnmower? And we got a little meeting you're going to be in too. It'll be good. You need that. It's good for you. That they don't need a script for. Where they need a script for is when they call their insurance broker. When they call the financial planner. They call the executive at the bank. When they call the guy with the cleaning business, when they call the lady that owns the hair salon, when they call the person down the road that has the accounting business, when they call the person that has a construction business. My greatest reps are you that raised your hand, yes or no.
And guess what you all have in common? This right here. We just had a guy sign into our team, literally put 654 reps in 2 weeks. You know how he did it? He was a business owner. And you know who he called? A bunch of business owners. And you know how normal it was for them to be like, dude, you're going to put your wife in, aren't you? You're going to put your wife and your kids in, aren't you? You're going to get your kids and your wife, correct? These people are like, oh, no problem. One guy made $4,000 in his first 14 days because he put in himself, his wife, and his 2 kids, and then went out and got 10 customers for all of them and triggered every single bonus. He made $4,200. $1,900 in, $4,200 out. He did it in literally 7 days, 14 days. How do you do it? Business owner. It was easy for him. He was like, they're just telling people what to do. How many of your business owners don't ask? How many business owners, how can I do? They go, hey, that's what I do. That's my business. That's what I do. And I'm telling you, if you don't tell them who to call, they won't even think of these people. It will never even occur to them. Now, how much are they going to retain?
7%.
7%. So what does that mean? That means you got to start asking them, who would you call for flowers? No, seriously, who would you call for flowers? I know who I call. Peterman's Florist. Andrea works there. Write her name down. Who would you call if you needed yard work done? Oh, that's easy. Jonathan Masseri. He owns a landscaping business. Write his name down. Who would you call if you needed your roof repair? Oh, Irish Roofs. Who's that? John. Write his name down. What's your favorite restaurant? Oh, I love to go to the little Italian spot in the corner. Who owns it? Oh, Anthony. Write his name down. Who would you call for insurance? Wow, that's easy. I call my cousin Bob. You know what I mean? He's got his own little insurance company. Write his name down. Like, who would you call for catering? Well, that's interesting. I think I'd call my friend Dwayne. Write his name down. You see what you're doing? Like, if you're not asking the questions, they are not thinking of the people. You know that memory jogger that we give out on Saturdays, or you can find on Wealth Institute? Use the memory jogger. I went to Pittsburgh. I knew one person. I had 14, almost 15,000 customers in Pittsburgh. I went there knowing one person. Why? Because I don't need to know more than one. Because if I work that person's list, they have a list of 100 and some people. So I just need to go through their friends, and 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 their friends. But if I don't get them thinking about who they know, their list is going to be small. And they're going to think about the 7 people they think are going to do it. And they're not thinking of the catering guy, or the landscaping guy, or the roofing guy, or the insurance guy, or the financial planner guy, or the home inspector guy, or the person that sold them the house, or the person that wrote their loan, or the person that did all the landscaping. Yes or no? They're not even thinking of those people. But if you don't massage their thinking, you're going to be stuck recruiting for the rest of your life people on the street. Instead of taking one seed and growing a forest with the one seed. You only need one seed to grow a forest, yes or no? One apple seed will grow you millions and millions and millions and millions of apples. You just need one seed. So when people come in, instead of them just going, hey, well, this is important. No, this is very, you know why it's so important to me? Because I'm not from those areas that I built teams in. I wasn't from South Carolina. I wasn't from North Carolina. I wasn't from New Hampshire. I wasn't from Boston. I wasn't from New York. I wasn't from New Jersey. So when I came to those markets, I had to take those people and go through that list and give me your cell phone, and I'm going to read the name and you write it down. Give me your cell phone. Hey, Adam, write that down. Oh, I didn't think about it. Hey, Anthony, write that name down. Literally have them write down every single name on their cell phone. Then they're coming from abundance. Then you can be like, listen, you got 500 names now. What's that mean? That means 450 of them can tell us to fly a kite and 50 say yes and we're rich. Now what do they think? Oh, tell me no, I don't care. Don't want to do it, I don't care. Why? Because they have abundance. If they have 7 people on the list and 2 tell them no, they're in lack. Then they go into beggar mode. Anybody ever seen the most disgusting thing in the world is begging? Please, would you come look at my... Please. If Ron comes, who cares about Ron? You should have 500 people on the list. Ron should have 0 significance to you right now. The only reason he does is because you haven't taken the time to build the list, yes or no? Does this help all of you today?
Yes.
You getting something out of this?
Yes.
Listen. I love you. I'm telling you, the confirmation list, this is gold. Without the confirmation list, 0 to 40%, 40 to 60% with the confirmation list. All the confirmation list says is that I have these people coming. Your job is to wake up and call those individuals up. Now, I love what Mary said a little earlier. I love what you said. Listen, she calls a confirmation list, says, hey, I'm just confirming you're going to be at Bob's house tonight, but I'm confirming whether or not you're bringing somebody with you. Did everybody hear what you just said?
Yes.
I'm confirming that you're coming alone or bringing somebody with you. Bring somebody with me. Yeah, I'm bringing somebody. Oh, can I bring somebody? What if you called and confirmed 10 people and 2 of the 10 brought another person? That means 10 on the confirmation list, 12 show up in the living room. Is that better?
Yes.
This is a numbers business, yes or no? So that confirmation list is worth its weight in gold. I've taken those confirmation lists and I've called and called and called and called. And when I call the confirmation, here's what I think. This is an SVP. Now, if you called somebody up and you believed they were an SVP, how would you treat them on the phone? Man, it is so great to meet you. Man, I can't wait tonight at 6:30. I cleared my schedule because of you. I can't wait to see you. I can't wait to meet you. Do you have the directions? You know where it's going to be? You got a notebook and pen? I'll see you there. It's going to be about 45 minutes total from start to finish. I'm not leaving until you get all your questions answered. I'll see you there tonight. Bye. And then the final thing is set up the home. Here's what I found. We have a checklist on the handout. Saturday mornings we give you a handout. There's a checklist of things on the handout. Just read the checklist. Hey, do you have kids? Hey, do you have pets? Hey, no alcohol. Hey, not a lot of food. Just read the checklist and you'll get it done. And the final thing is a 3-way call. This here allows for somebody else to coach your people. It allows for somebody else to coach your people. Listen, if you have a child and they are very good at something, soccer, baseball, math, or whatever that might be, wouldn't you want a third party to come in and teach them even more what you've already taught them? Yeah. Like even if you were good at piano, wouldn't you want another person to come in that was even better at piano to talk to your child and be like, listen, I'm just going to give you a couple techniques, a couple things that I've learned over the years. I've got trained by the very best in the world. Isn't that what a 3-way call is? You're allowing for somebody else to train your people on top of you. So it's not a bother. It's not a, oh, I don't want to take any more of their time. Listen, if they bought a McDonald's or any other business, guess what all their time would be at that business? This is a social, you can do it at home, don't you worry, you got 20 minutes, let's get you trained up, let me bring somebody else into the call, let's talk about this again, let's really hammer these points, because how much are they retaining?
7%.
How much have you retained here tonight?
7%.
7%. How many of you got another 7%? How many of you sat here, how many of you had some aha moments here tonight?
Yes.
How many like, man, listen, that's called life. That's why I keep going to training, because they go in deeper in my head of things that I've already heard, but I didn't hear at the level I needed to hear. Final thing I'll talk about, international convention. Listen guys, MD Rahman is a senior vice president. MD Rahman is a Circle of Champion member. You know why MD Rahman is a success story in ACN? The national convention. He went by himself the first time, took 17 people the second time, took 50 people the third time, took 100 the fourth time and won RVP. And you know how he did it? He took 17 people the second time, 50 people the third time, went over 100 the fourth time and won RVP. What does that mean? That means he took 17 people the second time, 50 people the third time, and over 100 the third time, fourth time and won RVP. So guess what? Success leaves clues. You know why he's successful in ACN? He uses the only thing that will get your people mentally on their own side. What's going to get them around their family? What's going to get them around their friends? What's going to get them around society? Because they're swimming upstream and all that stuff. That's called straight land money, yes or no? I watch some people sign an ACN, the family, gone. Mom thinks it's a bad idea. Your mom's broke. Period. Right or wrong?
Right.
Right.
I mean, listen, am I not speaking the truth right now?
Yes.
Period. And so the first landmine people have is their family. I call it the curse of the family. How many of you have the curse? Man, I'd be further ahead if it wasn't for all this negative talk, all this you can't do anything, all this, hey, we forgot we were in America, people. Right or wrong? Then if you get them through that, the second part is going to be their friends. Because their friends aren't millionaires, guess the advice they're getting?
Poor advice.
Poor people advice. That's 100%. So now you got to get them over. They're swimming upstream. These are all difficult things. Society's telling, oh, work-life balance. Oh, right or wrong?
Right.
Listen, they're being told social conditioning stuff. That's why so many people are frustrated financially. Anybody here in financial services? Does anybody sell financial services here today? Well, if you find someone that does, let me tell you the shock and awe of how many times they go out to people's houses like, you don't got no money. Literally, don't have no money. The American public has no money. They see what the average person is 3 to 5 checks away from bankruptcy. How many of you read these stats? 78% of society. What's that mean? That means everybody. So the point that I'm making, what gets them through those things is the national convention. If I did not go to the national convention, I would not be in this business. I take a stand for people. The bottom line is, if you don't take a stand for them and say, look, you gotta go, and I'm not taking no for an answer, I don't care what we gotta do. I had a lady the other day, she's like, I can't go. I said, really? Why not? Oh, well, we're getting married in April. Okay, good. So you're telling me if I gave you $100,000 to show up in Charlotte for 3 days, you couldn't come? Well, I could come. Okay, great, you can come. You can come. That's called broke thinking. Does that make sense? I gotta stretch your mindset. I don't want to leave you where you are. You're not going to be who you want to be by being who you are now. In order for things to change, you got to change. So guess what we do? We enroll people in the National. You know how we enroll people in the National? Number one, we invite them. Number two, it's $169. If you don't take that $169 out of their bank account and stick it on the ticket, they're not coming. They're not coming. And if you need help doing this, great. Call my number, 267-971-2871. All right here. 267-971-2871. This is the only thing I've ever done in my career to help people with, is the national convention. How many of you here tonight went to a national convention and got the big picture of what we're doing here by showing hands? How many? By showing hands. I mean, I'm talking, you were sitting there like, I can do this. Those of you that raised your hand, that's the only thing, thank you, that's the only thing that matters in our business. We can teach them how to get a customer. We can teach them how, listen, they never run out of people. Right or wrong. We never run out of people. But if they do not believe in themselves, what the National Convention says, I can do this. That's what they did for me. I'll never forget, I sat at National Convention, you know what, I left there and said, I can do this. And I got a new set of friends and a new set of mentors and people that encouraged me and radically changed my life. And because of that National Convention, my job is to radically change lives around the world. And it would not be in this business today if it wasn't for the convention. Period, done, over and out. And I expect them to want to go. I never go into the conversation like, I know you might be busy, I know it's an inconvenience. What's inconvenient is going to your grave broke. That's inconvenient. What's inconvenient is worrying about lack all your life. That's inconvenient. What's inconvenient? Walking down the supermarket and saying, I can't buy that because I can't afford that. That's inconvenient. Paying $169 to go to a national convention is not inconvenient. That is not inconvenient. So you got to be postured. You got to be like, dude, we're going, man. Let's do it, man. I got an Airbnb. Come on, you stay with me. Don't worry about it. Come on, let's go do this thing together. Let's go. Come on. And I built the greatest relationships with those people that I drove 13 hours down to the convention and 13 hours back. You know why? Because we're a team. Yes or no?
Right.
We're a team. And if it's the difference between $499 and $168, give me the $168. I'll take you as a guest. I want to check this thing out, come out. Can't come without your husband, can't come without your wife. A double braided rope will never break. Guess what a husband and wife together in this business is? A double braided rope. You need that double braided rope. And you need to get them to go to the convention. It'll never be closer, it'll never be more convenient. So tomorrow when I talk about the convention, we gotta get serious. Like, dude, we gotta get everybody to go. And if you don't get them tomorrow, it's like closing in the living room. You're hoping to, oh God, I hope they come back. Odds are they're not. If they don't sign up at a Saturday for the national convention, they're probably not gonna go. And they're gonna duck you, and they're gonna step aside, and they're gonna make an excuse, and the negativity, the lack mentality, the broke conversation, the social conditioning, what everybody else around them is doing is gonna affect them like it affects everybody else, and they will not come to the convention. I promise you not. I have yet to find someone that did not sign up at a Saturday, that jumped out of the woodwork one day and said, I think I wanna go now. It's never happened. Why? Because when they leave this environment, they're going back to average. That's what they're going to. They're not walking into a house with Success Magazine on the table. They're not walking into a house with Think and Grow Rich on the table. They're not walking into a house where the conversation around the dining room table is how do we diversify, how do we multiply, how do we get paid around the world. Those conversations don't exist in average people's houses. Now, I'm not talking about us here tonight. That's common for us, yes or no? I'm sure if I went to your houses tonight, most of you would have books and magazines and things talking about success, goals written down. People would know that you were going somewhere. But I'm talking about the ones that come tomorrow. The ones that come tomorrow, this might be their only shot. That national convention might be the only thing, because here's what I do know, and how many of you met people in your life, yes or no, 70 years old, that tell you what they missed? Yes or no? How many of you, oh, I could have bought Long Island City for a wooden nickel. Oh, I could have bought all Brooklyn. Oh, they were selling lots. I had one guy tell me the other day, oh, in where I'm living, he's like, my great-grandfather paid $113 an acre where Walmart is. And you know what he was upset about? The $113. And he bought 1 acre, and it was $113, and Walmart's there now, and their family made a bunch of money because he bought, but how many of us agree, we went back in time like, dude, buy 5 acres. Buy 10 acres, right or wrong? See, the point is, nobody tapped him on the shoulder. That is our job tomorrow. You're not doing it for you, you're doing it for them. I'm not telling them to go for me. I don't care if they go. I'm going to go all the way without them. Right or wrong? It's for them. It's not for you. You got to get that selfishness out of you. It's not like, oh, I